he's in the left, I'm in the right, and this is the common thread. You starting to get this? So some of you overthink this because you're overlooking people like him and I. Does that make sense? And we have a dream, and we're all in, baby. My friends.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
We will rock you.
All right, I was wondering what I was going to cover today, but to be honest, if someone's covered, I'm just going to just wing it. Nancy goes, you got 10 minutes, and like everybody's got 30, I'll take 20. That's good. Well, we didn't go to Punta Cana this year, or go on some exotic occasion, because we've just been all in on launching this business. And so we ended up coming to Wichita here for Big Throwdown, and we get in there to pick up the little escort they got for us, and we're like, no, the gal's like, well, first give it up for my wife, Tanny. She said you take the whole show, so I'm fine. So, with that being said, they had the same birthday, and then we tried to get a Mustang for 4 people, and they didn't have the V8, so she was like, I got a Hemi out there, we'll take that. And Tanny's just like, man, I'm going to need a neck brace, because Mitch wrote this yesterday, and we just tested that bad boy all the way to just, first, second, third gear, and it kind of brings me back to where we are with the business, is that you can't put this thing in overdrive and cruise. That's like year 3 of going into that momentum that year, where it just takes on a life. When you get $1 million a month, $2 million a month, $3 million, when you hit that window, that's when you'll go on overdrive, maybe hit cruise and just call it good. But the problem is, people, when you get into this business, you get sold something, you're extremely excited, you're ready to rock and roll, and then the fuse goes out because, like, if you're an AA, sponsor somebody isn't pretty good just to not take care of them, right? We're in the people business. If you bring you into that business, I'm looking at running 26 people at 3 quit. Next. But you know what? They are going to get a call saying, hey, just giving you heads up, there's 800 people in your team, and you might want to maybe take a look, right? The best way to fix that problem is people that quit. So, it's like, not quite sure where I'm going with this, but the power is in that first and second gear, you know what I mean? You can just rip the first gear and just throw your head back, and you hit second gear, and that's where that power band starts to come in. That's where you go from 0 to 70, 80, and you have to keep that in play in building this business. You can't go on third and coast, you can't get up and think, boy, what happens is people get silver, gold, platinum, and they pull over at the wayside and have lunch, right? Well, we get back on the island, I made it, right? You arrived. And that's kind of what we see when Andy ran the numbers down yesterday for us. I was kind of blown away because boy, she running this. Yeah, it's supposed to be a Byron special. He's a Walgreens Byron. So, it's not just me.
I've never seen those markers, so I have no idea.
Let's try a blue one. So, with that being said, you always have to be running, and what happens is people get burnt out, or they get tired, or somebody tells them no. Right? How's that old gas bill thing going for you? So what happens is you bring people in and they're excited. You have to get them started, right? If they signed up, they have a purpose, they have a reason, there was a reason they got involved, you talked them into it, pulled their credit card out, put them in a headlock, and those new people have to bring 2 people. If they don't get a check, they're gone. They'll sit and watch, they'll sit and listen to what you got to say, they'll plug it. They're called tourists. They join, maybe sell some insurance to you, or the wife owns a new custodial. It's kind of like a bowling league or a side hobby, right? Just to be a part of something. Those people are great. They'll be customers. but they're not going to blow up your business. They're not going to go, but they got all the experience, they got all the answers, and all the excuses, but they have none of the money. You'll hear this all the time. Well, did this before, done that before, and at the end of the day, it don't matter what they've done, what their background is. The proof is in the pudding. They're going to do it or not do it, and our job is to sort and sift those people out. And you know, I look at this room right now, and if you took everybody that's in here and you stacked this big pile of bricks, maybe over in this corner, probably be about this tall, maybe 4 deep, 3 deep, and you lay that out, you can build half this room, would barely go around the base of this foundation. This foundation, this company's not even built yet. We'll be structuring for another 7 months, year and a half. And the important piece is that everybody you put in this business is a key position at the very, very beginning. The next 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 people are coming to this company are going to come within the biggest teams. The guy with the biggest flag, right? The guy with the most noise, the guy with the most samples, the girl that's out doing bigger meetings like this. So you have to take that massive action. I'm going to cover a little bit about launching, because there's a difference of joining or launching. And for those people that have the talk and they'll all say what they can do, we have to get them to make the decision to launch or jump, just like Marty's video was up there. We're Jump. I don't know if you heard Van Halen. I love that song. But so that being said, you know, right now with the gas caps, make no mistake, this product is where I first got that call. I left rock and roll. I was drinking and driving. Got divorced. Lost everything. My house caught fire. Didn't have insurance. But I had one old Mustang 1970. It's about a $200,000 show car, and that was the one thing I had, and I had to rebuild. I rebuilt everything, worked full-time at Coke, a grocery store, played rock and roll. The grocery store said, you can't do that as a manager, it's not right, you shouldn't be out there doing it. They told me I couldn't do it, I decided to do it. So I went and got hired at Coke, and I played rock and roll, opened for major international nights, played a big show in Wisconsin, Rockfest, you might have heard of that. And you know, people tell you you can't do something is the best way for you to go prove wrong. And so when I got the call from Andy, I was living in Minneapolis. I followed my wife Tammy, she transferred up there, and I thought this is my time to get out. Stop rock and roll, stop building cars, and just moved to Minneapolis and got hired at Coke. Well, I got a call from Andy and Nancy, and I knew Andy from a friend of a friend of a friend, and he put me in FFI. I didn't have an email, I didn't know shit. Didn't know nothing. Didn't know a thing. But he sent me those little gas tabs, everybody said no, this ain't gonna work, what are you thinking? You know, and so I went to my bosses that I ran the Holly gas stations, ran some stores, people over my head, and the product worked. So all my friends are like, oh, how's that thing working, this, that. And I had to just buckle up and say, hey, I know you hate your job, I don't really like mine either. But my buddy Andy, that I barely know, but they all knew him from the hometown, I went up to their house, he said, I go, you live in Minneapolis? He goes, well, come out to Hayward, I'll be there fishing all summer. I go, but you live in Minneapolis? Well, I just bought a new excavator, got a new boat, bought a new camp. I'll be there all summer, just come out. And me and Tammy jumped in my Clover convertible, rode up to Andy and Nancy's, and I seen that $2,500 match on Kinley. At 12:01 a.m., we're up having beverages, and he goes, watch this. I go, well, what's up? I already seen the check for the week, so I knew he was making more in 2 weeks than I made all year. But I seen that $2,500 pop at 12:01 a.m., and the drive home that time, that day, changed my life. I mean, $2,500 in 1 minute is what would I make per month off a check manager somebody they didn't bring in. And I knew at that time, my wife said, you can do this. I did this part-time, I did this part-time. And when he bought a new home, I got trimmed out of coke at 50 years old. They said, "You're done." I stopped performing there. I outsold everybody. Everybody. Because I had customer relations, I took care of the people take care of you. And when they trimmed me out, my dad had about a year to live. I knew he wasn't doing well. And this industry gave me that time. And you cannot put a price on that. You cannot put a price on what this industry can give you. And I look back on that and I remember when he went diamond in that company that all the people at Coke seen the article. I mean, I wouldn't print it out a whole box. A whole box. And that thing floated around and he said, what happened? His hair's long, and I'm just like, and it felt so good to win, because everybody tells you no, right? Watch me. Tell you you can't do it. You go get somebody to tell you, you ask them, you keep your options open for making more money or extra streams of income. Go get somebody to tell you no to that, because that's the hardest question to say no to. I get calls from Melaleuca leaders weekly asking me, "Hey Mike, if one of your name came across my desk, you keep your options open for making more money. Are you in Melaleuca? Well, how did you know? Y'all got the same deal, right? But I cannot say no to that. I'm not recruitable. I'm already in something, this and that, but they're coming at you for that because you cannot say no to that.
Right.
And knowing that I'm on those lists, they call me all the time. And we talked a year ago. Yeah, we did. So back to where I was going with this. When that happened with the Coca-Cola thing, and we hit diamond, went to Maui, and that article hit the internet, all my friends and stuff told me no. My in-laws, my family, my kids, good friends that all hate their jobs, they're stuck in a job that they hate, they don't like their life, got to see it. They got to see us travel. In the previous company we were in with that coffee deal, got a company paid Shelby there, went on a trip to Bahamas, and turned around. I'm not telling us to impress you, I'm telling us to encourage you with what is possible. And when we bought the Shelby convertible and it came home, there was nothing else to be said. That was a fourth business for home article. We created a story for ourselves. And your story could be as simple as, I brought in 8 people and I'm going platinum next month, and I made $1,000 this month. And in 3 months, I'm going to be making $1,000 a week, and in 6 months, it's going to be $2,000. You have to create those stories, and stories will encourage people to believe in what it is you're sharing. If you don't have posture and belief in what it is you're doing here, you have to find it. And it's got to be really, really deep. And I told my friends, am I going to listen to you hating your life and your job and me being in the same boat, or am I going to go get what he's got? And they filled up 2 passports, traveled the world, and I understood that they made millions of dollars in this industry. I just started thinking, boy, if I could just replace my income and had all that time back, what would that be like? But if I get up every night, Mitch calls me before noon just to pick on. I don't get up till 10 o'clock, ever. And if I do, I don't answer the phone until 10, because once I start, I go to midnight. It's 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day. So, with that being said, when we relaunched here and I got the call on this, I'm like, you gotta be kidding. We're trying to save another company. It was sucking wind. It was the industry crash, the whole industry crash. If anybody in any company right now is telling you that they're doing great, they're flat out lying. There's been no revenues posted on Business for Home, drug selling news, nobody's posting incomes, nobody's posting revenues, because they're hiding it that the industry crashed. These companies are in the toilet right now. And they are watching this company, and I mean watching. I got so many big networkers surfing my Facebook page, and I don't click on them because then they know I look. They are watching this company, and if we were 3 years old right now, they'd be jumping in here, but they have to know if they make the move, it's a one-time career. They make the wrong move, and it's bad. But we're all in here before this all happens. You're so early. FFI did 300 million in sales. It was my first company I ever jumped in, and it was the best thing I ever did. And when we knew we were going to launch this product, this is an absolute home run. You get into the product about this product, you put that gas tab in your gas tank, you fill it up, you go on with life, and that's it. There's nothing else you have to worry about. If somebody has questions about the product, it's best to say, I don't even know, because they can duplicate that. If you start explaining it, overselling it, trying to be the expert of something you're not an expert in, you're like, I can't do that. I don't know all this stuff. I talk their ear off. They can't do any of that. But they can put that gas cap in, they can drive, and they can duplicate that, and they can invite to a call, they can do the follow-up, they can do the prep. It's so, you gotta make it so stupid that when they say, well, what do I gotta do? Well, can you do what I did? I say, my website, I put you on a call, and I call you back. I mean, really? So, back to, this did 300 million in 2006 to 8, which if you think about that, that's probably close to well, Byron would know, probably $1 billion, 800 million, 600 million. Then, without the social media levels, without all that time to build that deal, where we joined towards the end, when Amy and Nancy were in there, if we've been doing 300 million just with that right now, which I know we will, if we do that in 3 years, it's going to pay about 150 million. And every leader in this room, every position in this room is a flag that's flying that you hope it attracts into your business. Because I'm here to tell you, with international going in these other countries, with the price of fuel, the economy in other worlds, the limited opportunities going into these other countries with the crypto scams that have gone down and people have lost their shorts and have burned their credibility, there is no other opportunity out there. There's nothing that's even close to this. I mean, think about that. Once people say, well, you know, their complaints are set. Go find a 100-100 global non-flushing binary, and when you find one, call me back, because I'm here to tell you, you won't find it. You will not find it. And then you look at the match, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10, 5, 5. I mean, are you kidding me? You can bring 20 people in and make 20% of their check, but a guy like Mitch Cantelli over there, he brings in 30, I get 20% of them too. Right. Really? So, I mean, you got to hit, and then you look at the low entry. Go find a $199, find a $59 monthly ones. You're not going to find, on a global scale, find a $59. And then a retail product, in our coffee company, the company hit 95 million in 19. We hit timing. I mean, we crushed it. I brought in 1,600 people off the internet. Just selling coffee. So, I mean, I think there's a market there. We'll get into that in a minute. But the sampling program of the $10 cost, if you just give these away, they just go into class with people. There has to be value there. And if it's 20, you say you can get it for 10. But at a minimum, get a $10 bill from them and get a commitment. If you put this in your car, I'm going to call you back. I do not lead with the product. I need them to say, no, they don't want to make money. No, they don't need it. I need no's on all that, and then I'll backdoor them with the product. If I lead with the product, now I'm chasing them to get the result. I'm chasing them to figure out would they join. And we ain't into chasing people. It's just you don't have the time. You got to compress the process. That's right. If that makes sense. So, and I know I'm all over the board and probably ADD and all that crap. But when I'm prospecting somebody, I'm not going to write all this down, I guess. When I'm prospecting somebody, I want to find out if it's just open to making money or not. I need to know what it is that's driving him. He's running his own car line right now. He's got a kid at home. maybe it's a wife's second job. I need to listen to what it is he's saying by asking the right open-ended questions and getting information from him within minutes, a minute. Even cold market, you can feel who you got on live. Somebody's ordering crab, I'm done. I get to pick and choose who I want. There's certain people you don't need here.
Yeah, right.
So, with that being said, I need to find out what's ticking with Mitch or Jason or whoever we're bringing in, Doug, the guy there. And I need to have a solution for what it is I'm hearing. I have to bring them a solution. And I tell my teams and people, we put 26 people in one double diamond in 28 days. And I told Andy, I said, we'll be the first diamonds. I know what Jim's just an absolute badass. I know he blew this thing out. Now Byron's on board. And I'm racing to keep up. But I set a goal and I delivered on that goal. And it wasn't because we brought in 150 people like I normally would. It's because the 26 we brought in, we sacrificed that whole month in boxes. After a month I had a seizure and I buckled down and I got the job done. And that was 30 to 50 calls for 31 days. And when I knew I was close to Diamond, it was our anniversary, we hit it right on August 20th. It's our anniversary, I don't say 12th, 13th, to be honest, I don't know. But we hit that on there on that day, and we broke a ton of platinums, and we anchored what we call our V8. And when that happened, I knew I had 11 more days for the month. Double diamond was an optional. I knew I had that window because next month may or may not have hit it. And we just dug down into groups. And every ruby we have, every emerald we have, we do not have diamonds in our group yet. We will. Everybody that's in the core leadership of every one of those rubies and emeralds, there are 8, 10, 12 people are in my phone digging down in there. Our leaders are digging down in there. And we, as a company right now, those silvers that we got, Andy said yesterday, there's 400 silvers right here, or 200 or 400, whatever it is, and there's 40 golds and 100 platinums. When they get to gold, they go right on to platinum. We've got to dig on these silvers. These silvers we got in our groups right now are the key to pushing people to diamond. Because we get them to gold, it's fact, they'll go right to platinum. 40 golds, but what was it, Andy? 400 silvers? Over 300 silvers in the company. That means 300 people got the 4. They can do that again. Right? They can do that. If you can get to 4, you can bring 8. If you can bring 8, you can bring 12. And if you can get to 12, you can explode your business. And I'll just say this, I touched on this a little bit yesterday, but the ruby mark, and this is a big one for everybody, you have to create the strategy to break diamond, because I do believe everybody in here, 6 months from now, a year from now, you're here and you will be diamonds.
That's right.
Next 10, 20,000 people. This is a core leadership team, make no mistake. You're all here super, super early. So the breaking point on this, and it's extremely important, it's just simple math. And so what I do, in your back office under visual treating, you can click enrollment tree. And if you've looked at that and you haven't spread it out to look at it, take the time to look at it. It's so big and wide, I'm probably going to buy a TV that's double the size just to have it in my office. Because you can move it around and you can break down and you can find all your personals. You can dive in, as George got 4, Betty's got 6, right? And you can look right into who do I got to get these people to that level. And you have to break it down. If you're not in there with your new silvers and you haven't reached down as an upline, would you want to be your own sponsor? Right? Think about that. Are you doing what you need to do? And would you be happy if you were your sponsor. I'm taking a picture with my sponsor. I mean, you kidding me? Andy Nancy, my wife too. She's my sponsor too, kind of. You know, and you have to dig in there. And what you want to do is, we got to be in the business of creating platinums, but you got to look at the people that are in your group. And I'm telling my people that I identify somebody as going Ruby that have 100 people, 50 people in each leg. And that can be direct or indirect. And how you look at that is you can either manually count them, or you can just look at the tree view and see left and right. And if you have somebody that has 50 people on each side, more than likely they're going to have more than that on the other side. And what you want to do is, day one of the month, we're right around the corner, guys. Right around the corner. I know there's many of you platinums in here, I bet you right now, that have the 50 on the inner leg and probably having a bigger other leg. Is there anybody in here that thinks they have 50 on each side? Yep, I'm sure there is. So what I suggest doing at this point is, if you have 50 people on this side and they're all active, let's just say 60 for a quick cushion, maybe 10 decide to go home or something. Quit, go big, go home or whatever. Let's say you got a few extra. If you have 50 on your inside leg and you're good with the volume, because your volume don't flush, it builds up, and you want to become the next Ruby, and by the way, there's only 11 of them right now. Can you do it? Yeah. Of course you can. So, if you have 50 people in that leg that are active, and you can look at the end of the month, go right down there, look at them, look at reports, you can break it down however you want, but if you know you're close to that number, day 1 of February, you're halfway there. First day. So the question is, out of the 50 people you got in that leg, is there 4 of them there that are silvers that we can move to gold? Right? There would be 16 apps at 199. Is there, could 25 of them add 1? Because you only need 5,000 points. And that would be another 50 orders. So if 25 people added 2, you could become a Ruby. Be in the top 22 club. You see where I'm going with this? On August 1st of this year, my forecast, with everything that's going to happen here, my forecast is that the 6 diamonds over here, this company's going to break 100 to 200 diamonds. And the people joining after you that are coming could come here and do it faster than any of us. Or the big players are not here yet. I know Byron's a beast, and Jim and Andrew and Nancy and all the other leaders that are here, but the big boys are not here yet. And you cannot let them come to the party late. You want them in your team, you want people to blow it up, but you can't miss this window. Everything rises and falls on leadership. The sacrifice that you're going to put into this, by shutting off the TV, getting rid of negative people. I mean, you might share a pizza tonight you had at the party here tonight. These people that are posting their product and their website on their Facebook page, like people are jumping in, I don't know what they're thinking, because you just spoiled the element of surprise. Your friends on Facebook and social media are friends, and we got to get away from this COVID, pre-COVID stuff or post-COVID by calling them, asking the right questions, and show them this is the element of surprises that I want you, right? I'm making that call to you, and I make it really clear to you, George, let's say, that I'm doing this, whether I got a story or not. I'm going to go put 20 people in this business in the next 30 to 60 days. I'm calling you first. And if you tell me you're not interested, you ain't got the time or money or anything like that, if you're my friend, I'm going to say, that's okay, George. No problem. I know you're busy. You don't have the time, bro. But your sister Susie Q over here, okay? She's a go-getter, and her husband knows everybody, right? And your other bowling buddy, Freddie, right? That guy's the party starter. When he shows up at the golf course, the party starts. and his uncle shows up, everybody leaves, I'm going to get them. Right? I'm going to go bring them into the business, and that's okay. And I'm kind of telling you, you're lazy without saying it. It's okay, you're busy. And watch what happens when I take it away and I start talking about them and more or less just shove you to the curb. You're going to jump up there and be, well, what about me? Well, that's okay. You just go sign up with them. You can go sign up with them and go under them. So you have to bring it to people. They need to know you're serious. You need to know it's like a business. And you got to bring the kitchen sink in there. In worst case scenario, they're saying, man, I've known George a long time. I've never heard him this fired up. Right? And you have to get in there where they want to join because you're going where they want to go. People do not want to join people that are just here. And what I mean by that is, well, I'm going to go try to build this business. You think somebody wants to join us, somebody's going to go try? You want to join with somebody that's going to build this business. You're going to go out and kick some ass and get the job done. You know, people that want to go down. So, before I close it up, I just want to say this, that we know where this is going. This has already been there. We know what's going to happen when it hits business from home, that the original MPG cab is here at MPGXtreme with a brand new company that's super hot. The traffic is going to come, and the guy with the biggest flag, the guy making the most noise, and gals are going to reap the harvest because they will be coming in quantity. And then you look at this coffee industry, and this ain't the lead product. It's a back-end product, but this taps us into the health and nutrition with the marketplace and everything that's else coming. Just another category that they may have no interest in this, but they'll try this. And then you got the bomb of the travel industry, which I got no experience in this, but there's people that's going to want this that now gets introduced to this. So we just have added 2 more big bombs to the target market of people looking for an opportunity. And I mean, what a lead-in with the gas, that's a no-brainer. And this back end here supports your long-term residual income. Because companies, you look at the top 100 companies, there's not companies on that list that got a $59 monthly. They're $100, $150 and more. Okay? And then you gotta buy that stuff and go try to bring people in by selling them $100, $150 a product, or you're giving it away to get them to join. And then it's, do I feel it? Did it work for me, right? We don't have any of that with the cap. You put it in your tank, it saves people money, you're in or you're out, next. And when people underneath you quit, you gotta go build a big business under them, so when you call them back, it blows their mind. You show everybody that doubted you that you're a winner, and you go win big. So that being said, thank you very much.